Hello everyone and welcome to our Taekwondo class for this week. I hope you are all keeping well and staying safe. We are going to continue today with some of the additional stretches that I showed you last week. I'm going to show you 3 more additional stretches that you can work into your weekly stretching routine, and then we're going to do slightly different in this class, and I will explain when we get there. So as always, make sure you have yourself a nice big space, grab yourself a drink, let's get ourselves started. Heels together, arms to the side. Chariot, kungi. Okay, nice and light, jogging on the spot. Side to side. Good, front and back. Good, knees up. Heels up at the back. Sit. Heels are coming right up. Okay, good. Hands nice and high above your head. Go side to side. Good. Both hands out in front. Nice and loose. A little bit faster. Higher. Okay, both hands on your hips. Nice big circles, off we go. Good, change direction. Okay, and shut. Okay, take a seat, bring your feet in towards, we're going to grab our toes, chest is coming down 3 times, hold and repeat. So remember, when we do this stretch, make sure feet come in, make sure you take both hands and we grab our toes. Everybody should know how to do this exercise. Remember, it is your chest that's coming down towards your feet, not your forehead. We don't want to do this. You'll put a lot of strain on the back of your neck, and over time it will start to get sore. So keep your chin up and try and bring your chest as far down towards your legs as you can. Ready? Off you go. So try and make sure we're making the effort to go deeper and deeper with every stretch. Last one. Okay, very good. Take your hands, grab your ankles, elbows on our knees, pushing our knees down towards the floor. See, jump. Okay, both legs out in front. Go out nice and wide into your side stretch. Whenever we do this exercise, guys, make sure you are going to your maximum. There is no point sitting comfortably. Whenever we stretch, you are supposed to put yourself in a bit of an uncomfortable position. It shouldn't be painful, but it should be uncomfortable. That's how you know that you're going to get the most out of your stretch. So make sure you're pushing your legs as wide as they can go. If you haven't done this before for a very long time, take one hand, put it underneath, lift it up so that you can get your feet slightly further wide, and that way we can make sure that we're always training at our maximum. We're going to go down to the left, to the right, and into the middle. See, go! Excellent. Okay, If you bring your feet in, shake them off, bring your legs in, cross those legs, hands in front. We're going to go through our meditation now. So I know we've been doing this at home, which is fantastic to see. Obviously, we do this at the beginning, at the end of every class. We're also now going to do this at the end of every class as part of our cool down, as well as our warm up. So get yourself comfortable. We're going to go for 1 minute. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1. Off you go. And relax. Very well done. Now, stand up. Straight back into our attention stance. Well done. Now, that is the first part of our class done. So that is your warm-up and your meditation. Grab yourself a drink, get yourself ready. We're going to go into our core kicks. Now, before we go into our stretching routine, we're just going to warm up the muscles very quickly with a standing leg raise. It's something that most of you would have done inside of your classes, and it's very simple. All you need is, I'm going to use a wall. You can use the back of a chair or the edge of a table, something that you can hold on to that's going to take some of your weight so that it's easier for you to balance. So how it's going to work is we're going to come and put one hand on the wall here, or whatever you're using to keep your balance. The foot that's closest to your object, for me it's the wall. I'm going to turn my toes to face my object here, and that's going to open up my hips and allow me to be a little bit easier on my body when I'm raising my leg. Now, how we're going to do the leg raise is slightly different to how we've done it before. Previously, you would have simply just been asked to come up and down. Today, we're going to do that slightly differently, and we're going to go up, and then we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, and back down. So it's going to look a little bit like this. Make sure you're nice and supported, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and down. And then we're going to go again. 1, 2, 3, and down. This way, once you get to that point, we're just bouncing slightly to help give it a little bit of stretching. And then on the next one, we're going to try and go slightly higher, stretch again, slightly higher, stretch again, slightly higher. This way, rather than just constantly swinging your leg up and down, we're holding in a position where your leg has to work, and then we're doing some of our stretching in that position. So not only are you getting the benefit of stretching, we're also gaining a little bit of benefit of strength from having to hold our leg in that position. So exercise is very simple. It's a very quick and easy way to help relax and warm up those muscles that we're going to be working on in a moment. Okay, so you're going to come and put one hand on the wall, point your toes towards your object so that we can open up our hips, and we're going to come up and down. We're going to do 5 sets and 3 repetitions each time. So get yourself ready. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, and down. Up again. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and down. Last one. 1, 2, 3, and down. Very good. Now we're just going to swap sides. So put your other hand on the wall, point your other toes to the wall. This leg is going to do the exact same thing. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that 5 times. Ready? Off you go. 1, 2, 3, and down. And again. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and down. Last one. 1, 2, 3, and down. Very good. That was just quick leg raises to warm ourselves up before we go into our first stretch. Now, the first stretch we're going to do today is similar to the stretch that we did last week, where we were coming down to one side, almost like you're doing a side squat. Only difference is that we are going to keep our foot on the floor this week, whereas last week we were turning on our heel to point our toes to the ceiling to get a different stretch. This week we're going to do very similar, but you'll feel the stretch in slightly different parts of your leg as we do this. So, just like last week, we are going to take one big step out to the side. Make sure you are nice and wide in your stance. Now, just as you remember, the idea is to bend one leg and come down onto that, put all of your weight onto that one leg while keeping your other leg nice and straight. So I'm going to show you how it's going to work. We're going to stay here. You can bring your arms out for your balance. We're going to bend one of the knee and we're going to come as far down as you can go, making sure, guys, that we are keeping our big toe here touching the floor. What we don't want is to turn up like we did last week. We're going to keep that foot nice and flat on the floor, and we're simply going to go down as low as you can into here, then we'll come up, and then we'll keep this leg straight, keeping that big toe on the floor, coming down as far as we can on this side. Now, very important, we want to try and keep our back nice and straight when we're doing this exercise, so try not to lean so far forward that you're going to tip over. That's the one key thing here. Make sure the leg that we're stretching is nice and straight. Make sure the big toe stays on the floor. Make sure you keep your back nice and straight. Now, if you can't go as far as I did, that's absolutely fine. The idea is you're just going to, even if you get to here, and this is your point, that's fine. If you get to there and you can keep your back straight, toe on the floor, leg nice and straight, go to that point. If you can go past that point, you can go further. Absolutely brilliant. Just got to make sure that toe stays on the floor, leg is straight, back is straight, and also this supporting leg, we're not allowed to lift the heel off the floor. And what I mean by that is you can't lift the heel like this just to come down. Got to keep the heel flat and then just come down as far as you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 10 repetitions on each side, holding for a couple of seconds each. You ready? Arms out in front, going down to one side first. Off you go. Come up and down to the other side. And up. Last one. And relax. Very well done. Now this next stretch is going to require a mat. So if you are on carpet, you should be absolutely fine. If you are on a wooden floor or a hard floor and you have a mat, please use the mat. If not, try and use a rug of some sort, something that is just going to allow you to not have to put your body on a hard surface and take a little bit of that pressure off. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down very similar to what we did last week, and we're going to come down, both hands on the mat, and we're going to keep ourselves in this position. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay one leg out in front of us at an angle, and then we're going to bring our body over that leg. So what it's going to look like is very similar to this. I'm going to start by I'll bring this leg out for you guys so you can see, and watch, I'm going to bring my leg here. Now, if you have a look, my leg, I'm going to try and keep it at this right angle. Now, if you are not very flexible, what you will find is that naturally this leg starts to tuck in towards the body like this. That's absolutely fine. The idea is for you to find the point from here all the way up to about here, that is suitable for you. Everybody's going to be absolutely different, so please try not to push yourself too far. We don't want to pull a muscle or strain it or hurt ourselves. We just want to make sure that we are stretching to our maximum each time. So one leg is going to come down like this. I'm going to come up onto this knee. Now your back leg is going to lay nice and flat, like so. And from here, we're just slowly going to come down into this position. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to feel a stretch running all the way down this part of your leg. And all we're going to do is we're going to bring our chest as close to the floor as we can, and we're going to stay here for about 5 deep breaths. Make sure you're taking some nice deep breaths. It will help your stretching and it will allow you to go slightly further. So make sure back leg is nice and straight. This leg is where it is. You can come down to the floor and we're going to go for 5 deep breaths. Off you go. Very good. Now we're going to come up. This leg is going to come back. You're going to bring your other leg forward here instead. And we're going to do the same thing, keeping this leg here, keeping the back leg nice and straight. We're going to come down. You can put your hands on your knees, guys, to help support yourself. And then from here, we're going to go for another 5 deep breaths. Off you go. And relax. Put your hands down, bring your leg all the way around, and then you can pull it in and relax. Excellent work, guys. Really well done. Now for the final stretch that we're going to do today, you are going to need a nice clean wall. And what I mean by that is you need a nice big space here where there's nothing going to be blocking you. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down on our mat and we're going to push our backside as close to the wall as we can possibly go. So how it's going to look is you're going to come down here and you're going to lay down flat and you're going to lift your legs up and we're going to shuffle forward until our bottom is right up against the wall here, so that our legs are coming up into this position nice and straight. Now, the idea is we're going to do a variation of our side stretch. But because you are up against the wall like this, it's going to isolate some of your muscles so that we're not working all of the major groups in our legs, but we're really going to be working on the inner thighs. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands down here for support, making sure our bottom is pushed up against the wall. And slowly you're just going to let your feet start to fall. And you're going to go as far as they can go. You should feel the stretch running on the inside of your thigh. And then we're going to come back up against the wall. Very important here, guys, if you want to be isolating your inner thighs, that backside is right up against that wall. If you start pushing further away from the wall, you're going to start losing the benefits of this stretch. So let's make sure that we're right up against the wall, force and push your backside in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go for 10 repetitions, coming and letting your feet drop as far as they will go, hold for a couple of seconds, and then we're going to come all the way back up to the top. Put your hands down on the floor for some support, and we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, off you go. When you're holding, guys, it's a good idea to take a nice big deep breath. So every time we come down, you're going to hold and then come back up. we should find that slowly, after the first few repetitions, you are going slightly further with each one. That's going to be the idea. I think this is number 5, 6, 8, 9, and final one, 10. Bring your feet up. Now what I would suggest is if you bring your feet down, you can start to slowly push yourself away from the wall, and then you can turn around and come all the way back up. Really good work, guys. That is a very good stretch for isolating those inner thighs and helping with the your side stretch so that we can get our legs coming up as high as we possibly can. Really well done, guys, for completing those stretches. They are not something that you need to do necessarily every day. So just like I'd said with the previous set of stretches that we did last week, these are some additional stretches that you can add into your week as you wish. I do recommend that you put them in there maybe twice or 3 times a week, along with the other ones that we've done. They are just there for you to have a nice variety, and it gives you a way of trying to do your stretches without necessarily always just doing the exact same 3 or the same 4 or 5 and getting bored because there's no variety. So this way, they are stretches that are help benefiting your flexibility as well as your kicking height, but it gives you a bit of variety so that you're not constantly getting bored doing the same set of stretches over and over again. So really well done. Grab yourself a quick drink and we're going to go into the next part of our class. Now, what we're going to do today for the rest of our class is we're going to focus just on kicking combinations. In the last few weeks, we have been looking closely at our side kick and our turning kick, and I introduced to you a number of different ways that you can do a side kick and a turning kick. Now, we are just going to develop some of those things into some kicking combinations. The kicking combinations are going to start a little bit relatively easy. They'll get slightly harder towards the end. But the key here is that you give them a go and try your best. If you have been following along with the other kicking that we have been doing in the last few weeks, then this shouldn't be anything new to you. It should be techniques that you have already learned. We're just going to put them together into some combinations. Now, the combinations are only going to be 2 kicks at a time. So you might do 1, 2. And that will be it. I'm trying to keep it nice and simple so that we can get everybody involved. But what I am doing is some of the techniques will be slightly more difficult for you more advanced students, and I'm keeping some of the techniques nice and simple for some of our newer students who haven't been doing this very long. Everybody will have something that they can focus on. Now, as we go through, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on one leg, and then we will do the repetitions, but I do recommend, guys, that whenever you are training your kicks and your combinations, that you are doing it on both sets of legs so that you can feel nice and comfortable on both sets of legs. So grab yourself a drink. We're going to get started. Now, first combination that we're going to start with is going to be a lead front snap kick followed by a rear turning kick. Now, before we do, and I'll show you even the technique, one thing I've got to make sure is that we understand what I mean by lead and rear. So if I am standing in a position like this, just like you will be in a second when we go into our fighting stance, the leg that is in front of you is the leg that we call the lead leg because it's leading you forward. So this is your lead leg. Your rear leg is simply the leg that is behind you, it's the rear. So just so you understand what that means, if I say lead or if I say rear, lead just means the leg that's in front, rear just means the leg that is behind. So very important that we understand that, because if I say lead front snap kick, then and you're in this position, you've got to understand that it's not the back leg that's doing the front snap kick, because that's the rear leg. Lead means the leg is in front and you're going to lift up to do a front snap kick that way rather than coming through and doing a front snap kick this way. So very important that we know the difference between lead and rear. First combination that we're going to start with is going to be a lead front kick followed by a rear turning kick. Now this combination is simple. Something that we've all done is a front snap kick and a turning kick. But the difference is how we apply the two together, and especially in this combination. So what you're going to do is your front snap kick is coming to the midsection. What that does is it draws your opponent's hands. If they're here and you kick here, they're going to try and block. By bringing their hand down to block, you open up the space for the turning kick to come in behind. So we're going to go lead, front snap kick, rear, turning kick. Now, ideally, the technique is performed front snap kick to the midsection, turning kick to the head. And the reason the kick comes to the head, is simply because the first kick is pulling hands down, opening up the head for the second kick. Now, I understand that not all of us are going to be able to kick head height. So very important that while we're practicing, guys, you're going to your limit. Please, if your turning kick comes to here, don't try and kick up here. All right, what you'll find is that you'll slip and you'll fall backwards and then bang heads or hurt shoulders, elbows, whatever it might be. We don't want that to happen, so please make sure that you are doing this safely. What I would recommend is measure your turning kick. Simply stand still, come along, see how high you can go, and then try not to really go any higher than that unless you're working on your flexibility as well to keep improving the height of your kicks. Whenever you're doing your combinations, it's important that you are not superseding or going past your maximum, because we'll just fall over, lose our balance, and we'll put ourselves in a dangerous position. So make sure when you're performing this technique, yes, we want to go front snap kick, turning kick, but I understand that you need to work within your level of flexibility. So perform the technique as best as you can. If you have to go 1, 2 and come to the midsection twice, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure that you are nice and safe. So what we're going to do is we'll do 10 repetitions and then we'll move on to our next one. But I do recommend, guys, that you are doing this on both legs, even though I'm only going to show you on one set of legs. So guard is up. We're going to be nice and light on the bounce. You can bring whatever your favorite leg is forward, okay? So when I say lead, it doesn't matter because this is my lead leg, but if you swap, this becomes your lead leg. So it is completely up to you. You're going to do these combinations in whichever way that is most comfortable to yourself, but I do highly recommend that you do switch stances and then do another 10 repetitions on the other set of legs as well. So I'm going to take a big step back so we have the room. We're going to be nice and light on the bounce. Front leg first, 1, back leg second, coming around. Ready? Guard up, nice and light on the bounce. Off you go. One. And roll. And shut. Next combination we're going to do is 2 turning kicks. We're going to go lead turning kick, rear turning kick. And just like we did with the last combination, try and make sure that you're not going to the same height with both. Even if your flexibility is not very good, try and make sure that one is slightly lower than the other. And the reason for that is if you're sparring someone, giving them different things to think about is going to make them have to worry about loads of other things. If your kicks only ever come here, only here, then it makes life easy for your opponent because they only have to worry about a kick coming here. But if your kick comes in here and then comes in here, while they might defend the first one, they may not defend the second one. So giving different heights and different levels to your combinations is going to make you more successful at landing those combinations. So even if your kick is up here, try and make sure you're going 1, 2, so that one is lower or higher than the second one. Now, like I said, we're going to do lead leg front snap kick, sorry, lead leg turning kick. So you're going to go 1, put the foot down, rear leg turning kick. Again, try and go maybe hip and then shoulder, or hip and then head if you can, or if you can't even get to hip, try and aim for the inside of the thigh and then come hip, so that we are showing that different level change to our kicks. So guard up, nice and light on the bounce. Lead leg turning kick, rear leg turning kick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really good work there. So as I said, swap your feet at this stage, guys. Make sure you're doing the same thing on your other leg, so that we are constantly working and building up the strength and confidence in both of our legs. Really well done. Third combination is going to be a lead axe kick followed by a rear turning kick. Now, I know that an axe kick requires a decent level of flexibility, so for those of you that find this kick slightly difficult, just go to a height that you're comfortable, guys. Please don't, I'm not expecting everybody to get to head height before they come chopping down. If you're not at that level, that's absolutely fine, but make sure you are going as high as you can. This is a chance for you to help improve the height of that axe kick at the same time. So we're going to go lead axe kick, rear turning kick. So what that looks like is the lead leg is going to lift up to chop down. Once the foot comes down, the back leg is going to follow around for the turning kick. Now, the idea behind this combination is just like we explained when we did the axe kick on its own, the point is to help drag arms down. So if somebody stood here in front of you and you lift your leg up and drag it down their body, if their hands are here, you're going to drag their arms down with them, which leaves their upper body exposed, allowing the turning kick to come in afterwards for hopefully a successful land. Now, again, like I said, make sure your axe kick is going to a height that's suitable for you. We definitely don't want to be leaning so far back that we're going to fall backwards and bang our heads, but it is a good opportunity for you to help improve the height of your axe kick. So we're going to go lead leg axe kick, rear leg turning kick. I'll show you one more time and then we're going to get started. Guard up, nice and light on the bounce. You're going to come around to chop. Back leg comes around to finish with the turning kick. Get yourself ready. We're going to get started in 3, 2, 1. Off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Excellent work. And roll, and chop. Now, the next 3 set of combinations that we're going to do is a little bit harder, but not a lot. So please make sure you are challenging yourself and you're giving them a go. It is going to focus on what we were doing in the last couple of weeks, which was focusing on a pendulum side kick or a skip side kick. And what we were working on was being able to swap our feet to get up nice and quickly. Now we're going to put that into practice with the next 3 combinations that we're going to do. So first combination is going to start with a lead leg side kick, and then we're going to follow up with a skip side kick. So what it's going to look like is if you're here, you're going to lift up one foot down, and then you do the skip side kick to follow up afterwards. Now, the idea behind this is that if the first kick is pushing your opponent away and they've taken a nice big step back, they're going to be out of range for a second kick unless we skip forward to gain that distance back. So the first kick is to keep your opponent away. The second kick is to follow up and close that gap that we just made by skipping forward and hitting with a skip side kick. So I'll show you one more time. If you're here, we're going to lift up and kick, foot down, skip to come in for the second kick. Ideally, practice this as quick as you can. I understand that you need a little bit more room in order to do this, so please make sure you have a nice safe space. We really don't want to be kicking any walls, tables, chairs, anything like that, anything that's going to hurt our foot. So take a big step back, guard up, nice and light on the bounce. We're going to go lead leg side kick, skipping side kick. We're going to do 10 repetitions, but like I said, swap those feet afterwards and make sure you get another 10 repetitions in on your other leg. Ready? 1, 2 more. Last one. And prop. And shut. Okay, fourth combination is going to be lead side kick, skip, turning kick. So skip turning kick is simply just what we did a few weeks ago, where you have to skip to bring your feet up, or use the pendulum motion that we talked about, or we can call it a switch turning kick because you're having to quickly switch your feet to come up. The principle is exactly the same. One leg has to come forward nice and quickly to allow the lead leg to shoot up nice and quickly. So we're going to go lead leg side kick, skip turning kick. So from here, you're going to lift up with the front leg and go side kick, foot down, skip, turning kick, and that's going to be our combination. So lead leg side kick, skip, turning kick. Get yourself ready, guys. As always, guard is up. We're nice and light on the bounce. Lead leg side kick, skip, turning kick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Excellent work. And roll and shut. Our final combination for today is going to be the most difficult combination that I'm going to ask you to do today. It is going to involve a hook kick. Now, this is a kick that we covered previously in one of these videos, so if you haven't practiced it or you can't remember how to do it, I do suggest you go back and watch that video, make sure that you are coming up and hooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what a normal hook kick would look like, guys, especially from a lead leg position here. Your leg is just going to come up straight, as if you were climbing up the side of somebody's body. Once you get above the shoulder, if this was my leg, I climb up. Once I get to the shoulder, I hook my leg around. So what's going to happen is this leg here, if you look, comes up and it hooks. Now, that is just a lead leg hook kick, and you're coming up to hook this way around. What we're going to do now is we're going to continue on with what we've been doing, and that is going to be lead leg side kick, skip hook kick. So rather than a standing still hook kick where you're just coming up and hooking this way, we're going to do the skip version. Now the skip version is very simple. You use the same principle and momentum and technique that we did for the turning kick and the side kick, and that is that you are going to swing your legs like this to help the lead leg get up nice and quickly. So a skip hook kick would look like this. Take a big step back and you're just going to skip and come up. Once you're up, hook, and then let your pendulum swing back down. So I'll show you one more time. Skip, hook, and pendulum back down. Up, hook, pendulum back down. Up, hook, pendulum back down. Only difference is we're going to add our lead leg side kick first, so the full combination will look like this. You're going to lift up side kick, foot down, skip, hook kick, and that's going to be our combination. As with the others, guys, it does require a bit of space, so please make sure you've got that space. We're going to go get straight started. So take a big step back, guard is up, nice and light on the bounce. Final combination, let's get this one done. We're going to go lead side kick, skip hook kick. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Excellent work, guys, really well done. And prop, and shut. Okay, very well done. Now, if you have been taking part in all parts of the class and you've been giving it 100%, you should feel a little bit sweaty like myself. If you've been working hard, your muscle groups will be lighting up, which is excellent. Very well done in taking part. We are now, like I said at the beginning, we're just gonna, what we do is a cool down. We did a warm up at the beginning of the class to get your heart rate up. But now that we've been taking part and we've been active for a good half an hour to 40 minutes, it's very important that we cool down, we bring our heart rate down, and we will finish with our meditation. So if everybody takes a seat on the floor, you're going to go out nice and wide into your side stretch, but we're going to do this as a what's called a static stretch rather than a dynamic stretch. And the difference for that is simply, rather than going 1, 2, 3 and hold, which we do at the beginning of the class, where your muscles haven't warmed up very much and they're still quite tight, hence why we go 1, 2, 3, because you're stretching them. Now that you've been active for a good amount of time, your muscles will all be nice and relaxed and nice and warm. We do what's called a static stretch. And a static stretch simply means you're going to go as far as you can possibly go, and we're going to try and hold that position for a good 10 seconds. Then we're going to move over to the other leg, go as far as you can go and hold it for 10 seconds. And then we're going to come into the middle as far as you can go, and we're going to hold that position for 10 seconds. We're only going to do a side stretch. So get yourself ready. We're going to go down to your left in 3, 2, 1, off you go. So we're going to go down, go as far as you can go, and we're going to count down from 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Move over to the other leg. Again, stretch as far as you can possibly stretch and hold that position. We're going to count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Both hands into the middle. Again, when you're doing this one, you've got to imagine that somebody's grabbed your hand and they're pulling you forward. That's the idea I want you to have in your head, as if you're trying to touch something that's in front of you and you're really reaching as far as you can go. try and make sure you're reaching as far as you can go. We're going to go for 10 seconds again, so get yourself ready. Off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. Bring your feet in, shake them off, cross your legs, hands in front. Now, just to finish off our class, we're going to do our 60 seconds of meditation, just like we did at the beginning, to make sure that that focus and concentration we had when we started our class, we can leave. And now that if you need to go off and do any other work, or if you want to go and have some fun or help mum and dad around the house, you can do that, but you'll be nice with a clear mind and nice and focused. So get yourself ready. Make sure your back is nice and straight so that we can improve our posture at the same time. 60 seconds starts in 3, 2, 1. Off you go. And relax. Very well done. Stand up on your feet. Back into our attention stance. Really well done, guys. I hope you enjoyed those 6 kicking combinations. They started a little bit easy for those of us that haven't been doing this very long or don't have a lot of confidence, and we ended on a skip hook kick, which can be quite difficult if we haven't been practicing our hook kicks, but really well done. Hopefully that gives you something to be practicing. When the weather's nice, you can get out in the garden and practice those combinations along with all of the other hand and foot combinations that we've been doing up until this point. So really well done. Have a fantastic week. As always, take care, stay safe, and I will see you next week for our class. Take care.